Hey folks, Sled Driver 1 here. Thanks to my buddy Jesse Post and JP Pulling Productions. If you've ever seen his stuff on Facebook or YouTube, we got the wild idea last year to put a GoPro camera over my shoulder to do some pulls, and got lots of questions on stuff. One of those questions is, how do you hook and unhook and ready to sled for transport from pull to pull, or set it up to pull? Well, sitting here in the yard at home, nothing else to do right now, so I'm going to see if I can show you how to do all this. All I've done is start the sled up, and the truck's running and everything. So here we go. The box rides over the fenders, over the wheels, going down the road for weight distribution and stuff. It's held in place by air brakes by that controller right there. Pull it up. This works kind of backwards from a truck parking brake button. If you have an emergency, you slap it down if you want to stop the box from running away. This controller right here just puts air to an air cylinder on a tensioner pulley on a belt in the drive line. This right here is the gear shifter for the Allison automatic transmission. We'll pull her in reverse. There comes the box. We'll run that back under the cab. It's all the way back. Flip that back out. And we'll raise our pan up with this switch right here, pan lift. Flip it away from us, it's up. Now that second yellow light in the middle there's on. I mean, she's all the way up. I'll flip that air controller there. We've got a third yellow light. That means the front differential's locked in, ready to drive the box with. So now we'll go to the fun stuff. Now down here, 3 ball valves, and all they do is control where your air comes from for your air brakes. The way they were when I started there, that means the truck and everything controls the brakes for going down the road. Flipping the way I just turned them means that everything's controlled out of the cab and you're ready to pull. And I got out and forgot to open the flaps and put the wheels down. Everything's electric over hydraulic in a sled. Here's our mud flap switches. 1 out, 2 out. Put our steering wheels down. All hydraulic functions pretty much in a sled are electric over hydraulic. Most of the air functions are manual, just air controls. We got a few things that are electric over air, but try to keep things as simple as possible. You can find air leaks in an airline. When electrical stuff shorts out, then you got a problem. So, right here's all our airlines and electrical cords, umbilical cords, so to speak, for running everything up here. We got an electric 12-volt lift here on the neck to those hydraulic cylinders, to that foot, and you can tell the gooseneck part here sticks through the buckboard, the vertical part of the pan here. Those 4 big steel hooks. It's kind of like a big detachable lowboy or an RGN, so to speak. It's got removable pins and stuff, so we'll see if we can get this part done here. I already ran this really slow lift down part of the way here so we wouldn't waste as much time. And we're going up. You can see where those big pins stick through. We'll get the load off of them. Pull that one out. There's like me, it's a little stubborn sometimes. Gotta wiggle it. Now these black tubing bars here, come back and rest on that. That just keeps the bounce and the flex out of the buckboard here for going down the road. Pull the pin out of that one. This one's stuck. That one might take a little coaxing. Lift that up, pull it out. Lay it there in the neck, along with the flagpoles and stuff, and I may have to goober with this one a second to get it out. Okay, got all the pins and bars out. While the neck's still up, set these two, the 6x6 and a 4x4 wooden blocks there on the frame rail, and that'll hold the neck up off the ground when we set her down and get ready to unhook. There's our big main hook there. I've only got 1 hook on right now. The safety chain and stuff is laying over here. The second chain for pulling indoors or pulling Pro Pulling League events where they use a second drawbar in case the main one breaks. Run this lift all the way up here. Be ready to back her off the hooks. And there we go. Now, oh, we got to unhook all this. I just keep that strapped up out of the way so the wheel doesn't come over and grab them. Emergency line, trailer lights. This is the service line, and our electrical line for the lift that hooks directly to the sled batteries back here. This is kind of hard to do all one-handed. Throw all this up in here after I get it unhooked off the hook there. That's not real pretty, but it's up there. Now, we are actually disconnected from the truck. And on the main chain and safety chain thing, if you ever see vehicles break away on the track and run away, everybody think, oh, the chain breaks. That's a 1-inch chain. That's a grade 100. I don't know what the test strength is on it, but a vehicle is not going to break it no matter how much you jerk, bang, anything else on it. It ain't going to happen. So, push the button in, release the parking brakes, flip that in for our drive rear end, which is the back axle of the tandems on the sled. Put our wheels down, and she's raised up off the hooks. I'm on a hill, so it's actually going to roll a little bit, I think, here. And now we're away from the truck. Yeah, the wheels are aimed together because they're on individual steering cylinders there. One one's on the front, that one's on the back. It does not have a tie rod all the way across, so they ride down the road. Yeah, they shake around and turn the wheel on a lock one way or the other there. You give it an immediate alignment job. There we go. Now we're almost done. We'll go back out here. Now up here, see this black steel block? That's just a piece of steel tubing that goes under the front of the rails to let the front of the rails sit solid on the pan instead of beating and banging down the road. And back here is what we call the H-bar. It's hinged underneath the frame rails. A piece of mud from last weekend. And these are just regular old tractor hitch pins. Bungee cord keeps the handles pulled together so they won't shake out. Everything on these sleds has got a nice little placeholder, if you want to call it that. Well, all our 4 pins sit there on the back, nice and neat. Now the pins in the block are out. Reach in here, there's a chain hooked to this H-bar that is stuck. Let me work on that a second. Okay, got that unstuck. Now just pull that, it swings up out of the way. There's a chain hook welded right there. That holds that up out of the way so the pan can twist and everything for pulling. And we've got one more thing to do here. Hit the trip switches. All that does is put the pan into a free float. Lets the back of it sit down on the ground. And just for, well, we might get it hooked like this. This front chain here, which is stuck. I'm back, had to go rob the hammer to get that beat loose. Our front chain here, while it just may look like it's a piece of chain, it's actually very important. Hook her in the 3rd link there on this other hook, and that'll pull tight when you raise the frame rail, when you raise the pan up, and it's basically what keeps the pan straight underneath the sled while the pan is up. Keeps it from twisting around. Reset our trip switches here. the pan lift up all the way, lights on. And I almost forgot in this process, over here, air ride is up. That's obviously if we're going down the road. That is electric over air with a solenoid down there. And we will dump the air off the airbags. Let her sit down on the frame rail stops. That thing's not real fast, so we'll let that go a second and I'll be right back. While the airbags are still bleeding off air, right here you can see there's 4 cables, and they all run through this bar, which is hooked to that hydraulic cylinder underneath there. Each cable is run back through a piece of tubing over a pulley, and it's hooked to, there's 2 cables hooked to the front axle, 2 cables hooked to the back axle. And all that does, once the airbags are down and the frame rails are sitting down on the axle housings and stuff, you pull the cables tight, and that holds the axles up tight to the frame rails, so when the box tops and the push down goes off, that's what makes the back of the sled pick up and hold the wheels in the air free spinning when you're all stopped. And then once again, electric over hydraulic, reach over here, cables out. You can see that thing moving. Now she's topped out. Cables are tight. And during a show, you may see somebody reach over and bump that switch. That cylinder leaks off a little bit, not much, 1/2 inch maybe. Just keep her tight, keep the cables all snugged up. And now you're ready to drive her up on the track and go pulling. Well, after you go up there and take about 2 minutes to put the dirt shields on the front of the buckboard, that doesn't take real long. Thanks for watching. Hope you can keep up with all this, and I'll be doing some more videos in the future, more stuff to do with the sleds, and hopefully people will get a little better understanding of how these things work. Thanks for watching.